Namaste to all my young friends. I'm Dr. H.S. Prema, your dietitian by profession. The knowledge of nutrition is essential to lead a healthy life, healthy citizens, healthy nation. Knowing this, Prime Minister Modi ji has allocated special budget for national programs. One will get optimal health only by eating healthy food. Hence, the knowledge of foods, its nutrients, and its physiological function is imperative. Food, nutrition, and health. Life cannot be sustained without adequate nourishment. To lead a healthy life, active and meaningful life, proper nutrition is essential. Man gets his nutrients through foods. Adequate food is needed for growth and development, to prevent diseases, and to get energy and to lead active and healthy life. So, what is the definition of nutrition? Nutrition is the combination of processes by which living organism receives and utilizes the materials necessary for the maintenance of its function, growth, and renewal of its components. Nutrients are chemical compounds present in food, make food functional in the human body. Nutrients have specific function to perform in the body. Important functions of the nutrients are for energy, for bodybuilding, and for protection. There is a wide range of nutrients. Among them, the very important ones are protein, carbohydrate, fats, minerals, vitamins, and water, and hundreds of other micronutrients. Unfortunately, water is taken for granted. Most of the people don't think water is a nutrient. It is more important than food. Without air, we cannot live for few minutes. Without water, we cannot live for more than 2-3 days. Without food, somehow we can sustain for 2 to 3 weeks. So, it says the water is more important. So, water is also a nutrient. And other 100 nutrients we have in the food, they are very, very important. They function as bioactive substances in our body. To get all the above nutrients, we have to eat food. Except for water we get directly from the nature. And also we get water from foods. What does food mean to you? You have experienced that what you eat gives taste and sense of fulfillment. Eating is not just gulping down something to your stomach and telling that I am fulfilled. My stomach is filled. It's not just that. You see food through your eyes. You feel the food by touching it. And you take the aroma of the food through your nose. By your eyes, you will delight in the texture variation, color combination, artistic touch of garnish like chitrana and pulao garnished with coriander leaves, color of turmeric, and the well-cooked soft grains of ice. You would feel like eating your pulao if it is garnished with coriander leaves, and if it is colored with the turmeric or red pepper, or it is colored with carrot. You really like to see it. When your eyes likes it, you feel like eating it. Similarly, your heart feels the food. By the heart, You love the food because of person who has served it. For example, after long hours of your college, you will be served roti with chutney by your mother. Here you love this food because it is served by your mother. By your nose, you will enjoy its aroma like the aroma of saru or dal seasoned with ghee and asafoetida. You may repel foods because it is badly cooked, unpleasant odor of rotten foods served in an unhygienic place. Even though your favorite food is served in an unhygienic place, you don't feel like eating it. If your favorite food is rotten, you don't feel like eating it. So there are so many factors that influence you to eat the food. These are all the physical experience of foods. If you want to work in food industry or you want to start up a food service setup, you have to understand the physical relation of food to individual. But it is not just that. The most important function of the food is different. The most important aspect of food, though one cannot see it by eyes, is the relation between the body and the food. To understand the values of food, it is very essential to know the physiological functions of the nutrients present in food. For a dietitian to plan a therapeutic diet, the knowledge of nutrition is imperative. So, what are the functions of food? What it does when it goes into the body? There is a interaction we see between body cells and the nutrients that we have received through food. Again, just to revive the definition of nutrition, please go back to slide number 4 and 5. What are the major functions of nutrients? Let us have a look at it. The major functions of the nutrients are for growth and bodybuilding, energy yielding, prevention of diseases, and postponement of old age disabilities. We have to grow. We have to build our body. The growth will be very visible, very prominent in the growth period. And after that growth period, internally, every day, there are so many cells will die and those cells has to be rebuilt. And energy, for any work you do, you require energy. Even to just lift a pen and to write down a little on a paper, you require some energy. So like that, for every work we do, we require a lot of energy. So for that energy, we have to eat food. Just having energy and building body is not going to be, is not enough to keep us healthy. What is required? Because we are surrounded by various bacteria and viruses. Body has to fight every day against these bacteria and viruses to keep the body fit and to keep these bacteria and virus away from us. So that is prevention of diseases. Entry of these bacteria and viruses in the body will cause diseases. So body has to protect from these bacteria and viruses. It is not just that, the postponement of old age disabilities. You must have heard diabetes, cardiac problem and various other disabilities usually inflict at older age. If diet is not good, if the diet is not supplying sufficient nutrients, the old age disabilities can occur at younger age only. So old age disabilities can be postponed only by nutrition. So I have just given you I have just told you the varieties of nutrients. The important ones we are going to discuss now. The important nutrient is the protein. It is for bodybuilding. Proteins are vital to living organisms, important constituent of tissues and cells. That means every cell and every tissue is made up of protein. So the building blocks of the body is made up of protein. So our body is nothing but protein. So it is a component of muscle. That means the muscle has got protein in it. It's a component of blood. Blood has protein in it. All the enzymes and hormones is made up of, or it is synthesized by protein. Supply bodybuilding materials. And also the antibodies that we synthesize to fight against diseases, infectious diseases, is again synthesized by protein. Apart from building body material, it supplies energy also. You have understood? Protein is required for building the body, and every cell, every tissue is made up of protein. So that is why we say protein is for building body. Apart from building body, it even gives energy. Protein present in the body in the form of amino acids. When these amino acids broken down, it provides energy. That is called oxidation. Oxidation of 1 gram of protein will yield 4 kilocalories. Energy is measured in terms of kilocalories or in terms of joules. It is important to keep protein to build body than provide energy, as carbohydrates and fats do that function. Thus, protein are vital to the living process and carry out a wide range of functions essential for the sustenance of life. If carbohydrate and protein have not taken in sufficient quantity, the protein meant for bodybuilding will be used for energy purposes. So, the growth will get retarded because carbohydrate and fat cannot do the protein function. So, keep the protein only for building. So, take sufficient carbohydrate and fat in the diet for the energy purposes. So, protein should be supplied in adequate amounts through diet. So, what are the food that gives protein? The sources of protein are many. Animal sources are meat, fish, egg are rich in essential amino acids. The dairy products like milk, cheese, paneer, and milk preparations like kheer, peda are all rich sources of amino acids. There is a belief that vegetable origin are not good source of protein. Let us try to understand. See, vegetables are vegetable sources like tur dal, masoor dal, green gram dal, black gram dal, peas. These are all pulses. Vegetable origin foods are also good source of protein. They contain an average of 20% protein in them. Since these pulses are grown widely in India and Indians cuisine use them abundantly, need to be encouraged. It is not only pulses, it's a belief that eating rice and wheat will not provide sufficient protein to the body. Let us just look at that. Rice, wheat, jowar, foxtail millet, ragi, bajra and varieties of cereals and millets contain over 10% of protein. Since Indians consume these cereals in large quantity in all their meals, contribute a considerable amount of protein to meet the body's requirement. Though rice contains less protein compared to wheat, the quality of rice protein is superior to wheat. So eating rice is not inferior. The rice quality the protein quality of the rice is excellent. Though the protein present is less in cereals and pulses and in though the protein present is less in cereals and pulses, when combined, they provide all essential amino acids. Hence, consuming non-vegetarian food for protein is not mandatory. You just look at any Indian food. It's a combination of cereal and pulses. Dal roti, rice and sambar, khichdi, bisbelebath. Anything is a combination of cereal and pulse. When it is combined, we get all essential amino acids and it definitely meets our requirement. So if one is a vegetarian, need not have to worry about their protein. They will get sufficient protein if properly planned. RDA for proteins for Indians, that is recommended dietary allowance for protein for Indians, is 0.83 gram per kg per day. So just check your body weight and then calculate. For 1 kg requires 0.83 gram. So calculate how much of protein you require. And you know, the beauty of Indian cuisine is large majority of the Indians are vegetarians, strictly vegetarians. Though many say they are non-vegetarians, but their vegetable consumption like cereals and pulses is always high. So the non-vegetarians also eat lot of rice, wheat and dal. So it's a typical Indian food, that is combination of cereal, pulses and milk. So to get enough of protein, we have to combine cereals, pulses, milk in this ratio. The cereal, pulses, milk composition of the diet for Indians is 3:1:2.5. That means if you are taking 3 portion of cereals, take 1 portion of pulses and take 2.5 portion of milk. So if you combine cereal, pulses and milk in this ratio, your body will get sufficient protein. Now let us go to carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are classified into 3 major groups: monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. I am going to just give you few important carbohydrates. In monosaccharides, glucose, fructose and galactose. In disaccharides, the important ones are lactose, sucrose and maltose. And in polysaccharides, it's a wide range of saccharides are present in polysaccharides. Important one, what we get through our diet on daily basis, that is starch and fiber. Almost all natural foods do contain carbohydrate. A cane sugar and glucose are simple sugar. Starch is a complex carbohydrate made up of many glucose units. So starch food takes little more time to get digested. Carbohydrates are class of energy yielding nutrients. Carbohydrates derived from cereals form chief source of energy. Oxidation of each gram of carbohydrate provide 4 calories. Just recall, oxidation of 1 gram of protein provide how many calories? 4 calories. So 1 gram of carbohydrate and 1 gram of protein, when it is oxidized in the body, will provide 4 kilocalories. Carbohydrates enhance the taste of the food. It adds sweetness to the food. And also it adds bulk to the meal and support satiety value. You feel that fullness after eating if your food is bulky. So the bulk of the food is provided by fiber. Though fiber do not contribute to the nutritive value, will contribute to roughage. That means fiber to necessitate the digestion and elimination. Digestion and elimination is an important function in the body to keep the gut healthy. Lack of adequate dietary fiber leads to constipation and colon cancer. So fiber can prevent colon cancer. And how much of carbohydrate that we have to take? The recommended dietary allowance for Indians is a child below 1 year has to take 100 grams per day, whereas above the age of 1 year, one has to take 130 grams of carbohydrate per day, whereas the fiber is recommended 40 grams per 2000 kilocalories. This much of a fiber is essential to keep the gastrointestinal health. If one is consuming less kilocalories, naturally they have to consume less fiber. So now we'll go to functions and sources of fats. Fat is an important nutrient and serves a number of functions in the body. It is a concentrated source of energy. It supplies twice the energy furnished by either protein or carbohydrate. Carbohydrate and protein, when it is burnt in the body, 1 gram of that will give 4 calories, whereas fat is burnt in the body, it will give 9 calories. So definitely it is more than double the energy that it provides. So it keeps the body warm. It imparts palatability to the diet. It gives a kind of taste. Can you imagine our food without ghee, without oil? Dal would be tasty only when you give tadka with ghee. It adds lot of palatability. Roti, we smear either oil or ghee to add more taste. So fat has a taste. And it is not just that. The fat is required for the absorption of other nutrients. Especially it is required for the absorption of vitamin A, D and K. So the diet is providing vitamin A, D, E, K, but the same diet is not providing fat, means the vitamin A, D, E, K consumed will not be absorbed. So it is not completely utilized. So to utilize A, D, E, K vitamin, we need to have sufficient fat in our body. There are varieties of essential fatty acids present in nature. The vegetable oils provide essential fatty acids. Fat provides cushion to the body organs and acts as shockproof. Fat in the diet can be of two kinds, visible fat and invisible fat. The visible fats are ghee, butter and all kinds of oils. Invisible fats are the fats present in meat, egg, fish, cereals and pulses. You will be surprised to know that cereals and pulses, they look so dry. They don't give the, you don't feel like invisible fats are the fats present in meat, egg, fish, cereals and pulses. Those cereals and pulses look so dry, they have fat in that. Saturated fatty acids predominates in animal fat. So even human body can synthesize saturated fatty acids. Meat, fish, poultry are rich source of fatty acids. Unsaturated fatty acids dominates in vegetable oils. Most of these oils are essential fatty acids. Animal fats like ghee, butter and egg yolk contain vitamin K. Foods like rice, wheat, whole grams, groundnuts, coconut, till, almond, milk are sources of different types of fatty acids. So how much fat we have to consume? We have to be very careful when we are consuming fat. As we have already discussed, fat gives lot of taste. Because of its taste, we are consuming more, so we need to be very careful. Excessive intake of fat in the diet increase the levels of blood cholesterol. Excess blood cholesterol leads to unhealthy condition called atherosclerosis. So to keep heart healthy, we should not take excess fat. Excess intake of fat contribute energy dense that leads to obesity. We have already discussed 1 gram of fat when oxidized will give 9 calories. So it is energy dense food. So when we are consuming fat, we have to keep this in our mind. We have to consume only to the recommended level. Visible fat recommended for adult man is different from adult woman. And fat recommendation depends on the physical functions of the human beings. Sedentary workers require 25 gram of fat per day. For a moderate worker, 30 gram per day. For heavy worker, 40 gram per day. Recommendation of fat for adult women is 20 gram per day for sedentary worker, 25 gram fat per day for moderate worker, 30 gram for heavy worker. So now let's go to minerals. A large number of minerals are present in human body. They act as catalytic agent and structural components. Like protein, even they also play a role of structural components. Bones and skeleton are made up of calcium, magnesium and phosphorus. Iron is a component of blood. Zinc, molybdenum, copper, manganese and magnesium are structural part or active as enzyme systems. Iodine is a part of hormone thyroxine. Sodium, potassium are present in fluids within and outside the cells. So, what are the sources of minerals? We'll start with calcium. Milk is the richest source of calcium. Green leafy vegetables like amaranthus, and rajgir is another name for amaranthus, fenugreek, drumstick leaves, palak and many more are rich sources of calcium. Tapioca, a root vegetable, is a good source of calcium. Among the cereals, ragi stands out because of its calcium content. Rajkira, this is the seeds of amaranthus. Usually in northern parts of India, this rajkira is consumed on fasting days. This rajkira is an excellent source of calcium. Let us see what are the animal foods that are rich source of calcium. Almost all animal foods are rich source of calcium, like meat, fish are excellent source of calcium. So when calcium is not taken in sufficient quantity, it causes retardation of bone calcification and teeth in young. We have understood the calcium is a component of the bones. When calcium is not provided through the diet, the bone calcification and teeth will not be properly grown in younger age. For adults, when calcium is not sufficient in the body, will lead to osteomalacia and osteoporosis. So now we'll go to food sources of iron. Unpolished cereals and millets, in particular with bajra and ragi, are very good sources of iron. Poultry, fish, and meat are good source of iron. Lack of iron causes anemia. Infants, adolescent girls, and pregnant women are susceptible to anemia. Now we'll go to sodium and potassium. Many foods are high in sodium and potassium. Similarly, sodium and potassium are widely distributed in the body. It is present in intra and extracellular fluid. Cells have fluid in them, and outside the cell also we have fluid. In both these fluids, the sodium and potassium are present. Through sweat and urine, we eliminate these salts every day. Especially people who are living in tropical countries like we Indians, we lose salts through sweat and urine. To replenish this loss, we add salt in our cooking. So adding salt in our cooking will take care of the loss. Know your other vitamins. Vitamins are classified as water soluble and fat soluble vitamins. Fat soluble vitamins are vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Water soluble vitamins are vitamin B. In vitamin B, you have group of vitamins. They are called thiamine, riboflavin, nicotinic acid, pyridoxine, folic acid, and vitamin B12. Apart from this vitamin B, vitamin C is also a water soluble vitamin. So what functions does vitamin do in our body? Vitamins are organic substances present in small amounts in the body. They are required for carrying out many vital functions of the body, and many of them involved in the utilization of the major nutrients like protein, fat, and carbohydrate. Try to understand the interrelationship of nutrients. Protein, fat, and carbohydrate depends on vitamins for its utilization. So, calcium is depending on some other nutrient for its utilization. Vitamin A, D, E, K, fat soluble vitamins, if it is to be absorbed completely, fat is required. So, no nutrient in the body functions in isolation. They all depend on other nutrients for its complete utilization. Vitamins are essential for health and well-being of the body. They protect the body against infectious diseases. Let's go to vitamin A. Vitamin A is very essential for the clear vision. It maintains the integrity of epithelial cells. Vitamin A or retinol is present in food like ghee, butter, egg yolk, whole milk, and fish like cod, shark, and halibut. Though plant foods are not source of vitamin A, they contain precursor of this vitamin called carotenoid pigments. These carotenoid pigments function like vitamin A, so they are the precursors of vitamin A. All green leafy vegetables, yellow fruits and vegetables like pumpkin, mango, carrot, tomato, among dals, green gram dal, among oils, red palm oil are the source of carotenoid pigments. Let's go to vitamin D. Vitamin D functions more as a hormone in the body, is essential for the formation of bones. In general, all foods are poor sources of this vitamin, but we need not have to worry about that because our body can manufacture or synthesize vitamin D. Let us see how our body synthesizes this vitamin. Human body can manufacture this vitamin by converting beta dehydrocholesterol present in the skin. Beta dehydrocholesterol present in the skin in presence of sunlight will synthesize vitamin D. So India, being a tropical country, is advantageous to us, and exposed to sun for at least 30 minutes is advised for strong bones. Covering the body completely with black dress blocks the sun rays and interfere with the formation of vitamin D. Lack of vitamin D leads to osteomalacia. Please recall, lack of calcium also leads to osteomalacia. So there is an interdependency between calcium and vitamin D is noted. Functions of water-soluble vitamins. B group vitamins like thiamine, riboflavin, niacin are essential for energy utilization. Though the diet is providing enough of carbohydrate and fat, if vitamin B is absent in the diet, the carbohydrate and fat consumed will not be completely utilized. So B group vitamins are very essential for the energy utilization. Folic acid is required for multiplication and maturation of red blood cells. Lack of this vitamin causes megaloblastic anemia. Vitamin B12 is required for proper functioning of central nervous system. Vitamin C is involved in collagen formation, bone and teeth calcification. Since man cannot synthesize vitamin C, has to depend completely on food. So what are the food that provide water-soluble vitamins to us? Milk and its preparation, unpolished rice, sprouted grams, meat, egg are good sources of thiamine, riboflavin and niacin. Vitamin C is present in various foods. Fruits like oranges, mosambi, lemon, amla is an excellent food for vitamin C, and guava, green leafy vegetables like mint, coriander leaves, sprouted grams like green gram, moth and Bengal gram are rich sources of vitamin C. So what do you know about your food? See, dietetics is a subject deals with food and nutrition, and dietitians are working towards to highlight the importance of diet and nutrition to maintain the health, to prevent the diseases and to treat the diseases. Dietetics is a divine phenomena, will cure, treat and prevent metabolic disorders such as obesity, diabetes, irregular menstrual cycle, primary infertility, gout and many more. The divinity of therapeutic diet will cause no side effects, no contraindication. That is why it is a very divine treatment. Dietary treatment is economical and patient friendly. Apart from addressing diseases, will take care of body's general health by promoting growth, provide energy to work and protects us from infectious diseases. To address the lifestyle and metabolic disorders, a proper combination of all the nutrients in therapeutic range is essential. Indians consume large variety of locally grown foods are ideal for health formation or health promotion. Indians know the art and science of cooking and use varieties of condiments needed to be encouraged for health as well as for Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is very difficult to cover this subject in a given short time. If you want to know more about this, you can refer various books available in your college, and you can continue your studies in this subject to become a professional. Now I'll just present you two of my articles. It gives a detailed picture of how Indian foods can boost our immunity and how to, promote our Atmanirbhar. These are two articles published in Organizer. Link also I have provided, and article also I have presented here. Please go through these two articles, and I hope you have developed interest in this subject, and I wish you good luck. Thank you.